ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? Jets Ward back with you guys. Welcome back to the Jets Ward. I'm always happy to have you guys. And in this episode, I got a fun one for you guys. But before we get into it, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome. You know I always love having you guys back here. If you are new here, welcome. If you are a Jets fan or a fan of another team or just a casual NFL fan, you know you're always welcome here in the Jets Board. This is a safe space for you guys. Now, with training camp, guys, on the horizon for all of these NFL teams, the offseason's been pretty exciting so far. There's still a ton of free agents out there. There could be more trades that could happen. But there's still also news and rumors going on for each team. Now, normally, I am the very positive Jets fan. I like to be happy. You guys know me. I'm very chill and relaxed with you guys. But recently with the news for the Jets, it hasn't been great, and it's been very irritating. Now, for example, Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, has purchased or is in the process of purchasing a pro soccer team. Now, that's interesting news. We all know that he's not the best owner for the Jets. He hasn't been for many, many years. But I think this is a good thing for him because it'll keep him preoccupied with something else and keep his hands out of what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to be doing. So that's something that I think is actually a good idea and something that I'm happy for him. Go deal with your soccer team. Let the football guys deal with the Jets and the football operations. So I think that's actually good. One of the downers is Malachi Corley. I don't know why I keep doing that. I've done that in almost every video so far. But Malachi Corley looked at somebody who could be a potential cut. And the reasoning for that is we have a lot of receivers on this depth chart. Malachi Corley didn't really show much last year. This regime did not draft him, so they have no obligation to keep him. And in all honesty, he hasn't really shown much this offseason anyway. He's been hurt a lot of it. There's been some clips of him running routes and catching the ball really nice, whoop-de-doo, but he hasn't been on the field to play with the teammates. And that's something he's got to do when training camp comes around. He's got to be one of those explosive players, the one that pops, the one that had the coaches just they can't get enough of him. And I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I see like a Tyler Johnson being better. I see Reynolds being really good. Garrett Wilson, we know he's going to be already. He's going to be a star. Justin Fields, I think, is going to be really good. But there's so many players on this receiving core for the New York Jets, not top-tier talent, but ones who can get the job done. And Malachi Corley's on the bottom rung of that. So there's been rumors about him possibly getting cut. But the biggest piece of news that surrounded the Jets this past weekend is something that got me so freaking angry. And it has to do with our old quarterback and new starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. Now, this guy freaking pisses me off, man, because he went on a show with Mark Schlereth, who's also known as a Jets hater. He's gone on public radio and bashed the Jets organization for everything. So he's known as a Jets hater too. But Aaron Rodgers went on his show on ESPN, I believe it was, and Mark Schlereth asked him a question about the Jets offense last year. And instead of just answering a simple question or not going above and beyond, just answering it quick, oh no, Aaron Rodgers, man, had to go on a 25-minute tirade about how abysmal the offense last year was, especially with the run game. Now, there were a lot of issues with the New York Jets last year, a lot of issues with the offense. And yeah, our offensive line got dinged up. There were some big issues there. Olu Fashanu got hurt. Some of the signings didn't really pan out. There have been a lot of issues last year. A lot of drops with the receiving core. Breece Hall didn't have the best year last year. And never utilized the tight end properly. The offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, was not a great play caller. But for Aaron Rodgers to come out and basically bash the New York Jets offense last year and basically go on a 25-minute tirade, like I've said already, go on a 25-minute tirade saying that it made no sense Absolutely no sense. Schematically, no sense. The run game, the play calls, no sense. I call BS on that. We all know that Nathaniel Hackett is not a great offensive coordinator, and neither was Keith Carter. But the reason Nathaniel freaking Hackett was here was because Aaron Rodgers wanted him. He was his boy. They were great friends. Called him a genius when it came to the offense. This was an offense built for Aaron Rodgers. And what makes me so annoyed is because Rodgers, yeah, he might have really good numbers with the Jets, but he lost us a ton of games last year. Other than like Greg Zuerlein losing some games, Aaron freaking Rodgers lost the Jets a lot of games too, with boneheaded picks at the end of the games. Especially with Minnesota was a major one where we could have won. Denver Broncos was another one. I know that Greg Zuerlein could have won the game, and it just gets me so angry. Sorry, I keep freezing a little bit. Wi-Fi is a little janky. So, with that one being said, Aaron Rodgers gets me so angry, guys. It makes my computer even freeze because this was his offense. And the frustrating part about it too was that the amount of times that he changed the play when it was brought in from possibly a good running play to just trying to throw the ball 100 times a freaking game and force feed the ball to Devontae Adams when he got here, or Alan Lazard. Ousting, basically, our head coach, got him fired in Robert Saleh, which ruined our defense last year. And then Garrett Wilson became like a number 3 or 4 option. He never got the ball unless Aaron Rodgers needed to throw it to him. You got our number 1 young stud receiver pissed off to the point where there were rumors that he would wanted to trade if Aaron Rodgers came back. So for Rodgers to come out and completely blast the Jets and to not put any onus on himself, to blast the play caller that he chose, that he wanted, an offense that he wanted, that was set for him to come out and do what he did pisses me off because he is just as much to blame for the Jets' offensive struggles as the offensive line, as the running backs, as the receivers, as the tight ends, all of it, as the play callers as well. He is just as much to blame for it because of the boneheaded mistakes that he made as well in the Minnesota game, in the Pittsburgh game, in all these different games. Buffalo, that was a disaster. All right, you're going to tell me he can beat up on the freaking Dolphins the last game of the season? Cool, their defense wasn't great. You want to tell me that he could beat up on the Patriots early in the season? Cool. They were just figuring things out, and their offense, or the head coach, was god-awful last year. He can pick on these bad teams like the Tennessee Titans, who could have beaten the Jets as well, because their quarterback last year, Will Levis, was a complete disaster. We could have lost a lot more games. And with Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Fame quarterback, to come out and do this, we only won 5 games with him. In his 2 years here, he won a total of 5 freaking games. Zach Wilson has more wins than him. Mike White has more wins as a Jet starting quarterback. Flacco, all of these guys who we've been bashing for years as not having great quarterback play, Rodgers was part of it. He wasn't great either last year. And the numbers, he threw for over 3,000 yards, had over all these touchdowns and things like that. When it mattered the most, he came up short in 99% of those. And it didn't help that our kicking game didn't really work either. But Rodgers made some boneheaded decisions and bad play in crucial moments in an offense that was designed for him. So when he comes out and says all of these things, bashing and saying that the offense didn't make sense, this was your freaking offense, man. So own up to it. Say that you played poorly, that you could have done better. It's never his fault. And that's one of the reasons I'm happy he's gone. He always threw other people under the bus, and that's what our culture turned into last year. People pointing the finger at each other. That's what I'm really hoping AG gets to break, that we change this culture. Aaron Rodgers, I'm worried for Pittsburgh fans. He might give you some good games, but he's also known as getting his head coaches freaking fired. So McCarthy, one of the coaches. Saleh, another one. It's all about him. There's reasons why Pittsburgh Steelers players did not want him to come, that said that he should just stay in the retirement home. I try to stay positive and try to stay really cheerful and calm with all these things. But when players do stuff like this, it's very childish, in my opinion. It's ridiculous that he could come out and say that the offense didn't make sense when it was an offense geared for him. It was an offensive coordinator he wanted. And for him to say that it didn't make sense, well, that's on you too, bud. That really is. So own up to that. Learn from your mistakes. And Pittsburgh, good luck, because if things start going wrong, now you have DK Metcalf, who's a hothead, but a great receiver, and now you have Aaron Rodgers, who's willing to throw people under the bus too, and to never take accountability. And I hope Tomlin doesn't get canned because of Rodgers if they start playing poorly. But guys, that's all I got for you today. No PowerPoints today, no presentations, just me pouring my heart out. Camera fixed itself, so sorry for the freezing up and everything. But I really just wanted to get that off my chest because that really bothered me that Aaron Rodgers came out and said that. And, man, he's gone. Like, focus on Pittsburgh. Jets fans and not Jets fans, but Jets players and the coaches have been focusing on the Jets. Just keep the damn Jets name out of your mouth. We're going to see you week 1. If you guys get pummeled by the Jets, they're going to see this. They're going to look at this. Breece Hall is not going to forget this. Breece Hall was pissed off at the offense too last year, but you didn't hear him come out saying that it was a disaster, that it wasn't just that it was everybody else and not him. You don't see Braylon Allen doing that. You don't see Garrett Wilson doing that. These kids are owning up to the mistakes because they're leaders. Rodgers, not a leader. So Pittsburgh, good luck with that. And again, guys, thank you so much for being with me as I go on my own tirade about Aaron Rodgers. The guy just freaking pisses me off. We are all hopeful for him when he came here, and just have a disaster of a 2 years with him. And now for him to come out and say that, it gets me so angry. So guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you agree with me, let me know. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' comments? Do you think they are accurate? Do you think he makes sense? Do you think he's right? Or do you think he's wrong? Let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much again for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.